Bernicia, Old English, Bernice, Bernice, Latin, Bernicia, was an Anglo-Saxon kingdom established by Anglian settlers of the 6th century in what is now southeastern Scotland and northeast England. The Anglian territory of Bernicia was approximately equivalent to the modern English counties of Northumberland and Durham, and the Scottish counties of Berkshire and East Lothian, stretching from the Forth to the Tees. In the early 7th century, it merged with its southern neighbour, Era, to form the Kingdom of Northumbria, and its borders subsequently expanded considerably. British Brynic etymologies. Bernicia is mentioned in the 9th century Historia Brittonum, section 61, under the Welsh name of Berniac or Berniac, and in Old Welsh poetry and elsewhere under the name of Bryniac or Bryniac. This may reflect the name of a preceding Britannic kingdom or province, which was subsequently adopted by the Anglian settlers and rendered as Bernice or Bernice in the Old English tongue. If such forms represent a Welsh version of Bernicia, it is unclear why Welsh would need to borrow a foreign name for the area, so the former hypothesis is usually accepted, although no etymological analysis has produced a consensus. The etymology which is most widely cited is that tentatively proposed by Kenneth H. Jackson, which gives the meaning land of the mountain passes or land of the gaps. The earlier derivation from the tribal name of the Brigantes has been dismissed as linguistically unsound. In 1997, John T. Koch suggested the conflation of a probable primary form Bernich with the native form Bryant for the Old Civitas Brigandum as a result of Anglian expansion in that territory during the 7th century. Whatever the etymology, other linguistic evidence suggests political activity in the area before the advent of the Angles. A few important Anglian centres in Bernicia bear names of British origin or are known by British names elsewhere. Bamburgh is called Dungor in the Historia Brittonum. Dunbar, where St. Wilfrid was once imprisoned, represents Dunbar, and the name of Coldingham is given by Bede as Colludirbs, town of Collude, where Collude seems to represent the British form, possibly for the hill fort of Streatabs Head. Political history and memory. The Britannic kingdom of the area was formed from what had once been the southern lands of the Votadini, possibly as part of the division of a supposed great northern realm of Colhan and c. AD 420. This northern realm is referred to by Welsh scholars as Yrhenodor, literally, the Old North. The kingdom may have been ruled from the site that later became the English Bamburgh, which certainly features in Welsh sources as Dungardy. Near this high-status residence lay the island of Lindisfarne, formerly known, in Welsh, as Ynys Mydquat, which became the seat of the Bernician bishops. It is unknown when the Angles finally conquered the whole region, but around 604 is likely. Kings of British Bryniac. There are several Old Welsh pedigrees of princely men of the north, Gwyer Wygald, which may represent the kings of the British kingdom in the area, which may have been called Bryniac. John Morris surmised that the line of a certain Morcantbulk referred to these monarchs, chiefly because he identified this man as the murderer of Rianrud, who was, at the time, besieging Lindisfarne. English Bernicia. Some of the Angles of Bernicia, Old English, Bernice, may have been employed as mercenaries along Hadrian's Wall during the late Roman period. Others are thought to have migrated north, by sea, from Deira, Old English, Deirinris or Deir, in the early 6th century. The first Anglian king in the historical record is Ida, who is said to have obtained the throne and the kingdom about 547. His sons spent many years fighting a united force from the surrounding Britannic kingdoms until their alliance collapsed into civil war. A forcibly united Northumbria, Ida's grandson, Ethelfrith, united Deira with his own kingdom by force around the year 604. He ruled the two kingdoms, united as Northumbria, until he was defeated and killed by Redwald of East Anglia, who had given refuge to Edwin, son of El, king of Deira, around the year 616. Edwin then became king. The early part of Edwin's reign was possibly spent finishing off the remaining resistance coming from the Brittonic exiles of the Old British Kingdom, operating out of Gododin. After he had defeated the remaining Brittonic population of the area, he was then drawn towards similar subjugation of Elmet, a Cumbrook-speaking territory which once existed in the modern-day West Riding of Yorkshire, near Leeds, which drew him into direct conflict with Wales proper. Following the disastrous Battle of Hatfield Chase on 12 October 633, in which Edwin was defeated and killed by Cadwallon ap Cadfan of Gwynedd and Pinda of Mercia, Northumbria again was divided into Bernicia and Deira. Bernicia was then briefly ruled by Eanfrith, son of Ethelfrith, but after about a year he went to Cadwallon to sue for peace and was killed. Eanfrith's brother Oswald then raised an army and finally defeated Cadwallon at the Battle of Heavenfield in 634. After this victory, Oswald appears to have been recognized by both Bernicians and Deirans as king of a properly united Northumbria. The kings of Bernicia were thereafter supreme in that kingdom, although Deira had its own sub-kings at times during the reigns of Oswiu and his son Ygfrith.